What's up, guys? April 17th, today's a Thursday, and we have a lot of baseball on. So we're going to be doing like we usually do and get some slips out. Real quick, I'm going to go ahead and start off the stream by saying that we do have a giveaway that is live over on the Twitter. So if you guys are watching on Twitter right now, or if you're not, make sure to head over to the Twitter. Look for this post right here. $100 giveaway. If you guys go over to Pikkit, Pikkit, if you guys go over to Pikkit, sign up using my code, and give me a follow, take a screenshot of that and send it in the comment section of this Twitter post, and I'll be picking a winner either today or tomorrow to win $100. Pikkit is free to download on the App Store. It's the best app when it comes to tracking your bets, as well as looking at what the best available lines are, as well as even just tracking how the games are going. You guys can access all of the games here as well. But it makes it super simple. You guys can just sync your prize picks, Underdog, DraftKings, FanDuel, all that stuff directly to Pikkit, and it'll track your bets for you. So definitely suggest getting the app. It's free, like I said. Make sure you sign up with code TRIDENT. Along with the giveaway that we have, when you sign up with my code, you guys get up to $100 completely for free. Have I announced the winner of the March Madness bracket yet? No, I have not, and I know I'm very behind on that. I'll try to get that out today. I need to figure out who the winner is, just because the username isn't like their name. I think I tried to stress like, hey, sign up using your Discord name so I know if you win who you are. So we'll figure that out today, hopefully. But we do have a lot of day games today. I say a lot. We have a few. Looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 day games. I guess 5 if you want to count the Giants and Phillies. So these lineups should be out. We're going to go ahead and try to get some correlation out with this. The last 2 days, or I guess really just yesterday. Yesterday wasn't great. We had a couple of 5 for 6s that were pretty annoying to watch unfold. And then last night, Rockies and Dodgers, it's like you see all of these that are crazy, high scoring games, and yet the setup that we need doesn't happen. So that was a little bit of a bummer. We had Mookie Betts going over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, and he, I think, went like 1 for 4 or something, or maybe even, I don't even know if he got a hit last night. I know he got walks, but anyways, we're going to hop into this. Am I going to post these plays on Dub Club? So the correlation slips get posted into the Discord, but to access them in the Discord, you have to be in the Dub Club. So there's a getting started page in the Discord that you guys can, set up the two of those together, just connect them. So that way it gives you access to the Correlation Slips channel, as well as the VIP chat, all that stuff. That's all accessible through the Dub Club, which you guys can access through the link in my bio or by going to tridentdfs.com. So we're going to hop into the D-backs and Marlins game. These should have their lineups already out. I'm going to make sure to pull up Underdog to check. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna pull up FanDuel as well, for the reason being that we're gonna see who the favorite is to get an RBI or 2 RBIs in this game. So it's always smart to structure your plays based around what the sports books have, because at the end of the day, they're going to outsmart you. That's just how it is. So you have to just leverage that knowledge and then take advantage of where Prize Picks is giving us these payouts. So Corbin Carroll is the favorite right now, tied with Josh Naylor. Corbin Carroll is also batting leadoff, so we're not going to be taking an RBI spot at the leadoff position. But with Naylor batting cleanup, we should be able to take him here as long as we have a 1.5 RBI prop up on Prize Picks, which we do. So then we're just going to build off of that. So then you have Pavin Smith in the 3 spot today. So we're going to take him for 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Then we will take Perdomo for a run, ideally. And then we can take Corbin Carroll for either 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, or for fantasy score, since he is a pretty good candidate for a steal. Looks like we should be able to just take that. And then batting 9th will be Herrera. And then we should be able to take him for 0.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Let's see where he's at. All right, Jose Herrera. So that's a 13x, which is a good sign. That means that we should be over that 25x mark that we're aiming for. We're going to go ahead and get a positive EV prop as well. And we're going to check the opposing pitcher just to make sure that that's not like, a good play to take. So they're facing Cabrera. over 1.5 earned runs allowed is only an 18x. So that's not a good play there, but we will be able to go take, hopefully, let's see, Minwoo Lee under 4.5 birdies or better. So that's a 31x. So that's what we want. Make sure you guys are putting a quarter unit on this. If you're not sure what a unit is, I can explain that. Just let me know in the chat. But with all the volume here, you guys are going to definitely want to play these at 0.25 units. All right, don't put any more than that, because when we have a slip out for every single team that's playing today, that's a lot of units that are pending that at the end of the day, you know, correlation's a long-term game, meaning that we could have 2 to 3 days of no correlation hitting. And if you're putting half a unit or even a full unit on all of these, that's a lot of money out the window. So quarter unit on all of these. Remember that if you stick to that and have a consistent bankroll management skill, long term, you guys are going to make money doing this. All right. So this is going to be a 31x, 2.25x for the 5 out of 6 payout, and a 0.4. All right. So we're going to get that in. And remember, we still have our Oakland Athletics. Well, not Oakland anymore. We have our Athletics correlation slip from 2 days ago. We need Bobby Portis on Saturday to not hit 2 3-pointers. All right, I'm getting this posted in the Discord. Let me know if you guys have any questions whatsoever. D-backs 31x. Cool. And then we'll be able to head right on over to the Marlins. All right, here's the Marlins lineup for today. So again, we're gonna go check and see. So Wagaman and then Stowers. So Wagaman's also in the cleanup spot. Probably only gonna be able to take him. Wow, they actually have a 1.5. Sometimes with these teams, they only have the 0.5 RBI option, which is totally fine. You know, like that's not the end of the world. It's easier when we have the 1.5 RBI option. I know that's technically harder to hit, but especially with these guys in the 3 and 4 spot, it's a really, really nice look, because when we're flexing these plays, you know, we can have a 5 out of 6 payout with the RBI prop being the only one that misses, and still be making money with a 2x, 3x, whatever the payout is, just because we're upping the difficulty of the overall slip by taking that prop, and it's still something that can totally, you know, happen for us. So Connor Norby's batting second today. We're going to be taking his over for 0.5 runs. We have Edwards and then Lopez. Let's see here. And then Brantley. I don't know if we're going to have any props for Brantley. Let's see. Stowers is batting fifth. Lopez, we should be able to take here for 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Xavier Edwards, we should be able to take for 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And then, because we don't have any props up for Brantley, it looks like they've got Liam Hicks in here. That sucks. Let me just double check real quick. Nothing for Brantley, so we could take the 8th hole here for 0.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. So once again, we're going to check, just because Prize Picks is a little bit weird with this stuff. So we only have demon props here, so this isn't going to pay out well. At least not where we need it. Yeah, so we're going to get another positive EV prop to throw into the slip. Let's go with Michael Lorenzen under 4.5 strikeouts. Cool. So this is going to be a nice payout of 42x, 2x, and 0.4x. Cool. There we go. Thought it was funny that yesterday on stream I mentioned how, like, it feels like some of these games where we have like two good pitchers facing off against each other, somehow they're like the high scoring games. And I don't think that it like actually stayed this way, but I know yesterday we had who is it? Was it Nola? Was it Nola pitching, I think? I think it was. Yeah. Nola was pitching yesterday, and he gave up 4 runs in the first inning. Obviously, the Giants go on to score 11, which, by the way, you know, just another correlation 5 for 6 with Matt Chapman being in prime position to get RBIs, and he can't do it. So that was brutal for us because he was the only leg we needed there. I'm trying to think of what the other ones were that we had. I think Marlins had a pretty good chance either yesterday or the day before. Who else almost came through last night? Trying to think. It wasn't the Yankees. I think it was like... I can't remember who it was. We had a couple that went 5 for 6 yesterday, and they were brutally close. They didn't come through, but that changes today. I don't know how many games we have. I think it's like 12. So hopefully we can have, 2 correlation caches. That'd be awesome. Okay, Diamondbacks and Marlins are done. Now let's go to the Nationals and Pirates. Let's see, Nationals here. All right, Nationals and Pirates. Alex Call is batting leadoff. Let's check the odds on these. Heaney versus Williams. All right. Let's see, 2+ RBIs for the Nationals. Rosario, who will be batting third. Okay. So we can take Alex Call for a run. We can take... Ooh, this might be tricky. We can take James Wood for 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. We'll skip over Garcia. Skip over... Oh, no. Nunez is batting ninth. We need him for 0.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Skip over Lowe. Riley Adams. There we go. 0.5. We may have to up one of those. And then... Did I skip Rosario, or does he not have any props up? I don't know if he has any props. Wow, okay. So the favorite to get 2+ RBIs is not even available. And the second favorite is Dylan Cruz. Okay, so let's rebuild this slip with the 1 through 5. So we can keep Alex Call. We'll keep Wood. Then we'll take Nunez and Adams out. And then we are going to put in... See, so we still have Rosario out. So we could actually keep Nunez. And then we're going to put Lowe and then Cruz. This is a kind of a weird setup, but it is really the only option that we have here. So Nunez will stay at 0.5. Keep Alex Call and James Wood. Nathaniel Lowe will go to 1.5. And then we'll take Dylan Cruz for probably just 1 RBI. No, they actually have both options. Okay, cool. That works. It's a little bit ugly. It can still play out just fine, though. So we got those, and then we can do... Let's go over to NBA. We'll take Russell Westbrook under 18.5. 40x, 2x, 0.4x. All right. Remember, 0.25 units on this. All right, and all these links are going out in the Discord, by the way, as I'm going over these. If you guys have any questions about this, as far as like the profitability, this is all tracked on a day-to-day basis. Profit and loss, all in the Discord, whether you're a free member or a paid member. So you guys can go to discord.gg/TridentDFS or just access it through the link in my bio wherever you're watching. So Nationals are done now. We have the Pirates up next. Flying through these. All right. Let's check here. McCutchen, O'Neal Cruz, Joey Bart, and Valdez are all tied for plus 550. Favorite is Bart for 1, which means I think we should probably take him for our 2+. So we'll skip over Frazier. We'll go to McCutchen and take his 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Nope, we'll take his 0.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. All right, Brian Reynolds, we should be able to take for a run. And then for Valdez, we'll skip over him. Skip over Davis. Kiner Falefa, we're going to be able to take his 0.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And then we'll take Bart for 1.5 RBIs. And then who are we missing? O'Neal Cruz. 1.5 for him. Where'd he go? 1.5 for O'Neal Cruz. I don't know if we're going to be able to run this. We may have to switch something around here. All right. We're going to go back to NBA. Josh Hart under... Nope, they bumped that. Okay. Maybe we can run... Let's go back to MLB. We'll look at De La Cruz. Like that. 20x. Okay, so we got to go back to the Pirates. And we got to figure this out here. So, with Bart being the favorite for 2+, I think we need to switch something up here with McCutchen. We can't take McCutchen for like 3.5 or 4.5 for hits, runs, and RBIs. What if we took him for just a hit? I wonder what that looks like. That's a 26x right there. Okay, let's do that. That's a little bit better. That's a pretty significant boost just from, a hit, run, RBI to a hit. So 26x, 2.5. All right, so real quick, just to go over this one more time, we have Kiner Falefa at the 9 spot, going over 0.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Then we have O'Neal Cruz over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. We have Brian Reynolds over half a run. McCutchen over 0.5 hits. Joey Bart over 1.5 RBIs. And then we have Elly De La Cruz over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Why do you take 1.5 RBIs instead of 0.5? That's a good question. I'll break that down just 1 second. So, for a while, we were running 0.5. And the way that you have to do it in order to get correlation and also meet a specific payout, you would have to run 2 separate players for an RBI, at least for most teams. Like when it comes to the Athletics or the Marlins or the Rockies, sometimes you can get away with just 1 player, but for most, you need at least 2. So that gives us okay, let's put 0.5 RBIs for the 3-hole and the 5-hole. After about 10 games for each team, myself and one of the moderators in our Discord looked at the games that all had been played, and I know that it's not necessarily a good determination of how the rest of the season will go off of just the first 10 games. But by looking at that strategy, the payout compared to what we would have made if we would have started from the beginning with the 1.5 RBIs was vastly different. And the reasoning behind that is because we don't run these as power plays. You're not supposed to. You run them as flex plays because so many times you have those partial payouts, whether it's 2x, 0.4x, 2.25, whatever. Those partial payouts matter significantly when it comes to your overall profit and loss. So, why do I say that? Because whenever we take the 1.5 RBI props, we are able to take much lesser props for the rest of the lineup. So, like, if I were to run a normal lineup with the 0.5 RBIs, I would have to take, McCutchen for an RBI, Valdez for an RBI, and then you would still have to do like Joey Bart for 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, O'Neal Cruz for a run. You have to put more in your lineup in order for it to get to the same payout instead of just depending on one guy to get 2 RBIs. Now, again, I understand that it's a harder task for somebody to get 2 RBIs or 1 RBI. But if we're targeting the guys that are in the 3 or the 4 spot when they ideally have runners on base, it makes it a lot easier for us because even if that's the only prop that misses, we still have 5 other props that could have cashed because they're quote easy. They're 0.5 hits, 0.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. They're easier to hit. So it also boosts our payout a lot because if we do run these slips, we get payouts like 40x, 50x. Before when we were running the technically, in my opinion, harder slips when we have 2 separate guys getting an RBI, it's like 26x, 29x. They're the lower payouts. So it gives us a little more flexibility, and long term, it's a much more profitable strategy as well. So it's a good question to ask, though. But it is about, at the end of the day, it's about the profit and what the edge is, really. How we get an edge over the sports books. So we've got 2 games done right now. We've got Nationals and Pirates, and we also have the Diamondbacks and Marlins. So the third game that's going to be starting in about 50 minutes, 45 minutes or so, Mariners and Reds. I love this game. I think that we're going to have a lot of runs here. Last time I said that about a game, it was like 2-0, but whatever. Mariners and Reds, let's go over this now. We got, I think Cal Raleigh hit 2 homers yesterday. Maybe we should target him for our RBIs, which I assume we will since he's at that 3 spot. He probably has more favorited odds than Arozarena. All right. Mariners and Reds. Let's see. What are the odds? Hancock and Brady Singer. Yeah, this game should be pretty high scoring if you ask me. Yeah, Cal Raleigh. Okay, so Raleigh we're going to take for over 1.5 RBIs to start off our slip. So then we're going to go and we're going to skip over. Actually, they're probably not going to have any props for Mastroboni. Yeah. So we're going to have to take Dylan Moore, and we're going to take his 0.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Then we're going to go down to J.P. Crawford and take his 0.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. This might change. Then we're going to go to Julio Rodriguez and take his over 0.5 runs, hopefully. No, they don't have that available. Okay, so he's going to be another guy that we take for 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And then Polanco, same thing. So that's a 9x, which means we got to switch one of these guys. We don't have 1.5 for Crawford, unfortunately, so we may have to settle for Dylan Moore. I'm okay with that. It's not my favorite prop. I just would prefer to take this rather than keeping Dylan Moore at 0.5 hits, runs, and RBIs and then having to switch J.P. Crawford to get a hit. I think that's probably healthier for our payout as well. I'll check, though. It's just more correlated this way. Let's see what we can take. Over to Scottie Pippen over assists. So right now, this is a 27x. If we were to switch this around, we could take Dylan Moore at 0.5 and then take J.P. Crawford to get a hit. So yeah, that's a 22x. So that's it's less correlated. It's like one of the reasons why I say you guys need to mess around a little bit when you're making these yourself, or if you are, because Prize Picks pays out a little bit weird. So I was just making a less correlated slip that actually got paid less, if that makes sense. Sometimes they give us a higher payout for a higher correlated slip. So this is going to be the Mariners slip here. We're relying on Cal Raleigh to go yard once again. Hopefully he doesn't hit 2 solo shots. Makes it sweaty for us. 2.25x for the 5 correct. 0.4x there. And our positive EV prop that we're taking is Scottie Pippen Jr. over 4.5 assists. Cool. All right, time to see who's the RBI favorite for the Reds. I'm going to assume it's Elly De La Cruz, but I'm not sure what the lineup says for today. Are the Reds lineup not out yet? Oh, they are. 417. Okay. Okay, so De La Cruz is going to be batting third. Austin Hayes is the favorite, though. So we're going to go off of that. Austin Hayes for 1.5 RBIs. We need to take Austin Wins for 0.5. He's batting ninth. Then we need to take Friedel, Espinal, and De La Cruz. Brady Singer. All right, so De La Cruz will take for 1.5 hit runs and RBIs. And we will take... Skip over these guys. Espinal, we're going to take for a run. And then we'll take Friedel for 1.5 hit runs and RBIs. Ellie's hitting a tank. Dude, I think he does today. This is one of the games that I was told I should target for home run props, which, by the way, I don't know if anyone saw this yesterday. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But yesterday, I sent out little daily dingers. 4 people to hit a home run. Torkelson to start the day. He hit one. Cal Raleigh hit 2 of them. And then I needed Trout and Vinny. And, dude, I was watching that Yankees and Royals game, and maybe I've just not watched enough baseball, but, like, Vinny literally swings off of his, like, heels. Like, his weight looks like it's so far back. Like, his weight is shifted so far back. He didn't stand a chance yesterday. But, I was looking at stuff, like the pitcher he was facing. It was a good matchup. It was a lefty versus a righty. And they were at Yankee Stadium, short portion right field. And then Trout had an easy matchup last night and somehow only went 1 for 4 or something. So if you guys like this stuff, I'll do some more research and try to get out some home run props. But, I try to just look at the barrel percentage of, like, these guys facing their opposing pitchers. I'm looking at the weather. It's all, the main thing to keep in mind is just this is all for fun. Obviously, no one's going to be out here just consistently hitting home run parlays, but that was nice because I did a little round robin on that and got some money out of it because I had Torkelson and Cal Raleigh in one together. So I think Ellie does have a good chance today. We're not going to be taking him for his RBI prop, though. We'll be taking Austin Hayes. So maybe Ellie can hit like a triple, and then Austin Hayes can just have an easy RBI to bat him in. All right, so this is the red slip. We've got our 5 players. Let me get a 6th prop for us. I think we're going to be going with Brandon Pajemski. Under 22.5. That's a 29X for the Reds. And I think we have a couple more lineups out that we can go ahead and rip real quick. 29X. 0.4X. All right. And posted. Cool. All right. Next up, what do we got? Gosh, my nose is running. I don't know why. All right, Reds. We've got Diamondbacks out already. Gosh, dude. Ohtani last night. Something about that swing is, like, so crazy to me. You could just see how much power's behind it. Whenever, I think he was on the Angels, there's that one clip of him hitting a home run that quite literally sounds like a gunshot. I know some of you guys who are watching know what I'm talking about. There's one clip of an Ohtani home run that whenever his bat hits that ball, it sounds like a gunshot, and that ball is gone. I mean, when, like, if you're on Reel, where it says, like, moonshot, where, a home run's over 450 feet, that's what it's like. There's no, his swing is, like, there's never any parallel. Like, he never swings through it, like, it's always the angle. There's always a launch angle on it. So, like, yeah, he strikes out, but when he connects with that ball, it's usually gone. What was that, 427 last night? Jeez. D-backs, Reds. Marlins, we've got Mariners, Nationals, Pirates, Athletics. We don't have the Athletics yet. That's right. They're the next game. So Athletics and White Sox are out. So we might as well get on to those as well. The sound of his bat is amazing. You know, I spent a little bit of time last night. I spent a few minutes. I was on Reel, and I know they've got that new feature where you can just like, you can click on a home run or whatever, and then just like sort by all time. You know what I mean? So like if I go to Ohtani's homer, right, and I click home run, and then like if I were to go, this is what I was doing. You could go to one that's like, let's see, where's one that's over 450? I know we had a couple so far this season. Hold on. I'm trying to show y'all something. This is on Reel. I don't see any right now. I know there's been a couple so far this season. You got your no doubters, and then you have... Bro, where are they at? There we go. Okay. So when it's over 450 feet, they say moonshot, right? So then you can come down here and click the moonshot tag and look at all time. Dude, I was looking at, because they've got clips. There's clips of these that we can watch. Some of these are absolutely insane. I was looking through a couple of these. You know, Judge has a couple. Ohtani's got a couple in here. Have you guys seen the CJ Cron going 500 and something feet? It's nuts. It is the most insane thing ever, and it doesn't even look that far. Maybe this is what I'm thinking of.
So the 70th pitch thrown by Rodriguez already. And Shohei with a drive, right
like
center
as soon
field.
as the ball, as soon as the bat makes contact, like you know it's gone.
Fence, protecting Utah.
Jordan's got a few on here. Oh, Stanton's got one that's nuts. That one's only 453. Stanton has one on here that's way longer. These are just rating them by like the top all time. Here's the CJ Cron clip. Or no, it's not. This is only his 451. I say only 450 as if that's like not impressive. No, some of these are insane. I know Schwarber's got one on here that's like 480 something. Here's Stanton, 485.
Stanton,
like what kind of swing is that?
Into left center field. There
that ball
goes.
is long.
See ya. Oh.
Where's that CJ Cron clip? I know that's way down here. Because I think it was just like a solo shot. I think we just passed. Oh, there's Schwarber's 488.
And it is a breaking ball. Schwarber was ready. How far does this go?
Upper deck. Oh, here it is. 504. I've never seen one over 500 feet like this.
Stay fair.
The cameraman has no clue where that ball
won't see
went.
this one for long. CJ
It lands
Cron.
up by the car, by the truck.
That was the course. The dugout looking, trying to figure out if this thing stayed in the yard. 8-1 Colorado.
504
They
is
hadn't hit
nuts.
4 homers in a game all year till Tuesday when they put up a 10 spot
Cameraman
against
no clue about
Milwaukee.
that for a second.
Here in the
That's
4th
insane.
inning.
I know I'm getting off topic here.
Hammered.
Yeah, I think that's the one. Right center, just yeah. Yeah, this is fun. If you ever have any free time, this is pretty fun to scroll through just because they've got the clips of all of them. All right, let's get on to the Athletics now. I know I got a little sidetracked there. James Wood could actually hit a ball 600 feet at Coors. Has he been hitting them far? Like, I've seen that James Wood's been hitting some home runs, but I haven't been seeing, like, how far they are. I want to say Yelich had one at Coors, not this year, but last year. That was probably, like, 490. It may have been 500. I don't know. I can't remember how far that ball went. I want to say Yelich had a 500-foot homer. We're going to check the Athletics here to see who the favorite is versus the White Sox. Two plus RBIs. I'm going to assume that Rooker's the favorite? Oh, they've got a different lineup. I was going to say, where's Langoliers at? Okay, we're going to take Rooker for 1.5. He's batting cleanup today. We'll skip over Urshela. We'll skip over... Or no, we'll take Wilson for a run. Jacob Wilson over 0.5 runs. Pareto will skip. And then we'll go to... No, we'll skip Blade. And then we've got Lawrence Butler, who we will take over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Langoliers isn't playing. Andujar's not playing. Soderstrom we got to take for over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And they've got no props up for Schumann. That is terrible for us, actually. No props for Schumann. No props for Muncy. Honestly, some would say I should take Pareda here. Or just scoot the whole lineup back and just take Butler through Blade. But I think I'm going to take Blade for 0.5 and just roll with that if we can. I don't even know if that'll pay out. We may need to take Pareda. Let me see what this pays out. It's probably going to be like a 22x or something. Let's see. We took Pippen. We took Pajemski. We could take... You guys want to take Draymond? Draymond Green under 5.5 assists. 21x. Okay, so let's do this. Let's see how this works here. So we'll keep Rooker. We could take maybe Butler and put Fantasy Score instead, possibly, just because he could steal. I assume that would probably get us there. Yeah, that works. I prefer that than switching it up for one of the other guys. So that's a 26x. Not bad. Not great, though. Athletics have been kind of hitting around, getting some runs on the board. 26x. That'd be pretty cool if we got another Athletics sweat for NBA. I think the other one's a 26 or 28x or something. I don't know. Langoliers has been playing well. Soderstrom's been playing well. Rooker definitely needs to pick up some slack. I think Jacob Wilson's been playing really well. I saw some stat about Jacob Wilson. He's like swinging at everything that's thrown at him. Like, I think what I saw was that he was the only player so far that is averaging under 3 pitches per plate appearance. But he's not just like swinging and popping out or flying out. Like, he's actually getting hits. I think he had like a 15-game hit streak or whatever. But he's been playing impressive, I guess you could say. Andrew Vaughn's going to be the favorite here for the White Sox. And he's going to be batting third. So we're going to go take Vaughn for over 1.5 RBIs. We'll take Brooks Baldwin for 0.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Then we have Davis Martin pitching. Jacob Amaya will do the same thing. Take his 0.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, which we probably will have to change. Luis Robert will take for we're gonna have to change this up. I'd rather take Robert for a hit. Do we have any props up for Midruth? We don't. That's a problem. Imagine not having props up for the leadoff batter. I know he hasn't been batting leadoff, so I don't blame him. But it does put us in a weird position here. I guess maybe we could take Amaya for a run and then switch that out and then go down to like Miguel Vargas and take him for 0.5. Yeah, that should work. I'm going to see if we can switch back Luis Robert to 0.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Just because I know he's going to go 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts and a walk and a run. And then we need a positive EV prop for this game. We're going to take Julius Randle under 7.5 rebounds. I'll let Gobert get him. I'm going to see if I can just water this down a little bit more. So White Sox will go to Luis Robert and take his... Yeah, that's a 26X. That's fine. It's just way safer in my opinion. Andrew Vaughn's been crushing the ball. 0.5 hits, runs, and RBIs for Robert. That's a 26X. 2.25. Cool. All right. Do we have any other lineups out yet? I don't expect us to, just because... I mean, maybe we probably would get some relatively soon, I think. Because that Giants and Phillies game is in about 4 hours. Let's check out the D-backs and the Marlins, though. That game's actually starting right now. 0-2 to Corbin Carroll. All right, 2-2 to Carroll. I'm trying to pull up the slip that we have. 3-2. I don't think a walk would be bad. We have over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, I think, here. Unless we took fantasy score. But I don't think we did. D-backs, where you at? Yeah, we have over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And why are we swinging at that? That's down at your feet. This is the wrong sport. He's golfing. That's ridiculous. It's a curveball, though. Gosh, that must have been brutal. Am I able to pull up the actual game, or is it going to blur it out? I know YouTube TV does that, but I don't know if MLB... No way. He struck out, but he reached base. So that's huge for us because he's on. He could score with a run. Oh, it's a Marlins game, so these are blacked out anyways. So that's huge for us. So we need Perdomo to go to also score. This is what we're sweating right here. Pull up the slip for us. Why is it so blurry, dude? Corbin Carroll just stole second, which is beautiful. Gosh, dude, Cabrera is getting them with this freaking curveball. See, this is what the perfect reason why I just was saying how, like, I will sometimes take fantasy score for some hitters if they are, like, big steal candidates. Like, if they get on, they're usually going to try to at least attempt a steal. Corbin Carroll being one of them, Ellie De La Cruz being one of them. You know, if Acuna was playing, I would take him for fantasy score as well. Who else do we have? Like, Trey Turner's another guy that I usually take for fantasy score if it affects our payout in a positive way. Who else do we take? Who are other steal guys that we take? The Phillies just dropped their lineup, so we should be able to get a Philly slip out real quick in just a minute. I'm trying to think of other guys that we have for steals. I guess like O'Neal Cruz. Usually don't run that with him because he's typically in that like 3 or 4 spot. So we'll take him for RBIs typically. I mean, it's usually the leadoff guy that I target for steals, or if he's batting second, we'll also do that. 2-2 to Perdomo. Carroll on second with no outs. Just trying to get him with that curveball again. Fouled it off. 3-2. Hey, we'll take a walk here. We need Perdomo to score. Corbin Carroll just stole third base. Absolute maniac. He's already at... So this is the craziest part. Corbin Carroll struck out and has 10 fantasy score right now. That's like the beauty of guys who can steal. In play runs. Please tell me this ball is down. It's a curveball. .031 expected batting average here. Most likely just an RBI sac fly, which it is. So Carroll's going to have one for our hits, runs, and RBIs. Perdomo does not score. We need Pavin Smith to get on here for hopefully a Josh Naylor 2-run bomb. He's been killing it. I think he's on back-to-back homers right now. So this would be a third straight game for him, which would be huge. Let's see. Yeah, back-to-back homers. He's got 3 on the season. 0-2 to Pavin Smith. So I guess that's good. I mean, now he's got 12 fantasy score. Wow, look at Pavin Smith cashing us for his over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Now we need Josh Naylor to do that again. Pavin Smith. Gosh, I remember when Cabrera was elite. With just striking out guys left and right. All right, 1-0 to Naylor. It's not a bad start. I could not believe the start in the first inning for the Dodgers yesterday and the fact that we did not cash. I think we still needed a Freddie Freeman RBI because he only had a solo shot, and then we needed Mookie Betts, which I know I already went over, but I mean, man, it's tough seeing a team put up, 8 runs I think they had, and still needing 2 squares on correlation slips. Grounded out to first. Okay. Totally fine. Plenty more at bats. It's a good start because even if we don't have an RBI in the first here, we still have, 2 guys who scored runs, which means that we've got more chances to get up to bat. It's a good start. Also quicker for Cabrera to get pulled out of the game, leaving it up to the bullpen to not give up runs. So, it's a good start. Oh, 1-2 to Gurriel. Gurriel sold us 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago we needed him to get 2 RBIs to cash our D-back slip. He didn't do it. And then yesterday has a 2-run homer. Like, it's always the day after stuff happens. Gurriel strikes out. All right, real quick, while we are waiting, bottom of the first, we're going to go ahead and get this Philly slip out. All right. So the Phillies have dropped their lineup, which means we are going to get out a correlation slip. Schwarber's batting cleanup, Harper batting third. Let's see. I'm going to assume Schwarber is the favorite for 2+ RBIs. Could be wrong, but that's usually the case when you got a hitter like that. Batting cleanup. Yeah, Schwarber. Okay, cool. So we'll do 1 through 4, and then we'll have Rojas in as well for 0.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Harper, we're going to take for 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, or I guess we're going to take him for a hit. We're going to take Bryson Stott for over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. We're going to take Schwarber for over 1.5 RBIs. Skip Kepler and Castellanos. We'll get to Trey Turner. We'll take him for fantasy score. Is Rojas not on the board, or did I skip over him? Rojas. Rojas is not on the board. Okay, so I guess we got to take Alec Boehm then for 0.5. There's no way that's going to pay out what we need to. If so, that's a pretty good slip. Who are they facing today? I don't know who's pitching for the Giants today. We're going to have to find that out. Not like that will affect the slip that we're taking, but all right, we're going to take Trae Young for under 42.5 PRA, 23x. All right, we're right there. As you guys did see, I took Trey Turner for fantasy score. What if we take Bryson Stott to score? Does that change anything up? That does. Perfect. I like that. He's batting leadoff. I like that. It's a good look. All right. So this will be Phillies, 26x. Share this. And then our positive EV prop is going to be Trae Young. Under 42.5 PRA. Cool. That's nice and easy. It's a good look. Schwarber for over 1.5 RBIs. You got Trey Turner over 7 hitter fantasy score. Literally could just hit a single and steal. Bryce Harper to get a hit. Alec Boehm to get over 0.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And then Bryson Stott, who's batting leadoff, to score. I like it. It's good. All right, Rodriguez is facing off against Xavier Edwards right now. In play, no out. Love to see that from the Marlins. Whenever the Marlins cash us this season, in this 162-game season, it's going to be electric because the payouts are good. They've been so close so many times. Just a single over to first for Xavier Edwards. We do have his over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. So that cashes one of them. Connor Norby is up. We need him to score. We will take a single here, a double, a triple, a home run. Get Xavier Edwards back in the dugout with a run. So he cashes. 0-1 to Norby right now. 0-2. Called strike and a swinging strike. By the way, I saw some ridiculous calls yesterday. I know I'm just following along as a spectator, but some of the calls that these umpires are making are just outrageous, dude. I mean, way outside the plate. And the problem is I feel like some of these, this is weird to say, but I feel like some of these umpires have really bad depth perception. I think one of the ones I saw yesterday was a sweeper or a slider that, I kid you not, was way outside here, and it was called a strike. I think somebody sent that in the Discord yesterday. Let me see if I can find this real quick, because if I can, I'll show you guys. Connor Norby in play out. Honestly, a force out would be not the worst thing if it is a force out, because that'll leave him on the bases still. Oh, look at that. Look at the force out. Beautiful. What's up, Jackson? Thanks for joining 5 minutes before we end stream. Glad you're here. All right. Jackson, do you remember, was it somebody in chat that sent the picture of the called strike that was way outside of the zone yesterday? I think it was in the Discord, but I could be wrong. Oh, it was Josh. Josh sent this. It was a slider. No. Manager challenge on the force play. Here, I'm going to pull this up for you guys. This is what it was yesterday. Oh gosh, why are we so zoomed in? This was the call. So this was yesterday in the Nationals game. And yeah, like to me, this is a depth perception problem. So like that is way outside the zone. This is a called strike. Yes, I understand this could be an error. This could be, an actual strikeout swinging, right? Or this could be not even where the ball was. But I mean, what is this, right? Like this shouldn't be allowed. Like I understand that this is it could be a slider can look like it's inside the zone if you have depth perception issues. So this is a horrible call though if this is accurate. So I don't know. I'm not really here to promote robo umps, but I think that these guys should be able to challenge because that's ridiculous. What props to look for during making MLB Coros? Look at the options on sports books to see who's favorited for what RBIs. Take an over 1.5 RBI prop for either the 3 or the 4-hole hitter, and then build from there. You have to have a game script in mind. So like, for example, right? For example, let's go over the slip that we just had, right? Let's go over the slip for this game, actually, the Marlins. Let's go over the Marlins real quick. It should be live now. So this is the idea behind this, right? So this doesn't even necessarily have to play out in the first inning because we do have somebody who's batting 8th. So let's say Javier gets on with a single, right? To start the inning, whether that's the 3rd inning or whatever. 0.5, hits, runs, and RBIs, that cashes, right? So now he's done. So now Xavier Edwards comes up and hits a single or whatever, or a double. Who cares? He gets a hit. That's 1 for him. Then you play out through the order. Okay, let's say Connor Norby directly behind him gets on via a walk. That's totally fine as well. He's on base. We need him for a run. Then you go on to Otto Lopez. Okay, let's say he gets an RBI single. He cashes, and he just batted in Xavier Edwards. That's 2. Or let's say he batted in Javier, whatever. Let's say he bats in both of them. Both of those guys have cashed now. So now Otto Lopez might be, on second base or on first base or whatever, and you've got Wagaman behind him who could just hit a 2-run bomb. Let's say he had 2 people already on base and batted them in. There's a process and a game script that you have to have in mind in order to have this play out. Does it have to play out exactly like that? No, but you also have teams like the Dodgers last night who put up, 5 runs in the first inning? I can't remember what they had. There was a crazy streak of just players continuing to get hits. That's what you guys have to have in mind when you're making these. All right, so Otto Lopez struck out swinging. Again, completely fine. It's the first inning. Wagaman, we have for over 1.5 RBIs. He has 2 players on base right now. It looks like they overturned the call. So the fielder's choice actually, he was on the bag, I guess. So there's still 2 people on, which is huge. If they could double steal here, that would be great. But we've got 2 people on base. It's a 1-0 count to Wagaman. We need him to bat in 2. Ideally, we see in-play runs here because getting an RBI out of the way, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. How far is this ball? 329. This should score both. This might be a 2 RBI double. Please, show me 2 RBIs. Show me 2 RBIs. Sometimes PrizePicks updates even faster. 1-run ground rule double. That is huge. That's a great start for the Marlins slip. Okay? Anytime you can get an RBI in the first inning, it's great because, we're taking a guy to get 2+ RBIs. Ideally, we just cut that down to 1 now. So, it's just playing like a normal 1 RBI slip. So, Xavier Edwards just scored. Huge. Connor Norby is on third base, which is also huge because Stowers can bat him in with the RBI sac fly right now. Huge. And if we go into the second inning with having Xavier Edwards cash, Connor Norby cash, and then taking 1 out of the 2 RBIs from Wagaman, That is awesome. So hopefully, again, we see in-play runs here from Stowers. It's a 1-1 count. Lefty-lefty matchup. Little sketch here, but always take a 7-9 or normally 1-5. So what we've done is looked at, what hits the most. The best spot to target for 2 RBIs is going to be the 3 or the 4 spot. With that being said, it is ideal to take a 9-hole or an 8-hole hitter to also incorporate just 0.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, just for them to do something. Because when we looked at what happens typically when the 3 or the 4 hole gets those RBIs, the back end of the order also performs well in terms of hits, runs, and RBIs. In terms of who to take a run for, I personally like to take whoever is 2 in front of the RBI option. So for here, we have Wagaman for over 1.5 RBIs. Connor Norby is 2 in front of him. It just works out better because if he gets on base, there's a person in between who can bat him over into scoring position. That should be a little bit self-explanatory, I guess. But it is 12:30. We're going to watch this at bat. He struck out. Not great. We don't need Stowers for anything. We just had the opportunity for a sac fly here. So hopefully Myers can bat in Norby. Definitely would not like to have him stranded on third. But I do got to go. It's 11:30 a.m. tomorrow when we'll be back here on Friday. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure that you're following me on whatever platform you're watching from. And hopefully we cash some of these Quoro slips today. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.